I saw the traces of a revocation ritual in Sarah Hawkins' office. Is it connected to this curse?
She tried to correct her mistake, yes. She tried everything. She told me. But she failed. And that's what counts.
What's going on this island?
I'm so sorry. We should never have met.
What are you talking about?
Destiny! It has trapped you. Don't let it see you, or you won't be able to escape it. Don't look at it. That's how it finds you.
What finds me?
Sarah Hawkins' visitor. The Shambler.
Sanders, pull yourself together.
Without her, it's no longer possible to save me. No!
Sanders! What the hell? Oh God. I gotta... Okay.
This is insane.
What killed him?
Fuck that.
Damn! The gas! Oh. My head.
Later. We need to move on.
What the shit?
Who goes there? That nightmare again. I need a drink.
Should have a bunch. 3, yeah.
What you say is true.
That is precisely why I'll find evidence.
Fine, do what you want. I'm just trying to reason with you.
Oh, the windows being open totally helped this place out a lot. Hi, Cecilia.
Should not be watching.
That's exactly what Kane said. He said, I told her not to look at the game. It's very scary. It's full of monsters. Bad guys.
There's a door on your left.
No. I want to know what Bradley and Dr. Colden have to say about all this.
That's fair.
You're awake, Mr. Pierce. How do you feel?
Did I sleep long?
The day is only starting. It's fine.
How's our fugitive? Dr. Fuller hasn't reported your disappearance to the Force, but that'll come soon.
Bradley?
Who else would it be?
Mr. Pierce, are you all right? You look like you saw a ghost.
There are things I can't explain.
Tell us. What happened?
I saw people in hoods. They had stolen Mrs. Hawkins' paintings.
Who are you talking about? Why would they do such a thing?
I don't know, but they were a threat. They've taken over the caves under the mansion. They were performing some kind of ritual. One of the entryways was under Charles Hawkins' office.
We suspect Mr. Hawkins of being involved.
My patients believe the old islanders used to worship primitive sea gods. Could they be the focus of the cult?
Am I hearing this right?
So you think me gullible?
No, not at all.
What else did you uncover, Mr. Pierce?
You two know each other pretty well.
It's a tiny island. Everyone knows everyone. Especially since I'm a police officer and Marie's a doctor.
The chemistry is obvious.
I do seem a little bit stupid, don't I? Anyway, let's get back to the business at hand.
What I'm sure of now is that the Hawkins case isn't just an accident.
And what brings you to that conclusion?
The fact that Charles Hawkins survived the fire.
I don't understand. Mr. Hawkins was buried.
That's what he would have you believe.
I have a hard time believing you.
You were there, Bradley. You even opened fire on him.
I'd remember that.
Why would he fake his own death? Do you think he covered up his wife's murder?
That's possible.
It seems hard to swallow. Don't you have anything more concrete, Pierce?
Bradley, what do you remember?
I don't understand your question.
The night we went into the Hawkins mansion. You don't seem to remember the tunnels and what occurred there.
No memory of going down any tunnel. No, we were in the manor then,
Then what?
The rest is quite blurry. I don't recall how I came back home.
And then?
I went to visit you at the hospital and called on Marie's help to get you released.
And you don't remember the events of the tunnel?
I don't. Let's talk about something else.
Given the energy he pours into Riverside, I presume it was Fuller's creation.
His father's, to be correct. He was a surgeon on board the Scylla. He founded the hospital in 1904 with funds from the Hawkins family before he died and his son Thomas Fuller took over.
Two families inextricably linked.
Most island families are that way. Captain Fitzroy's father was also a seaman aboard the Scylla.
Powerful families dominating everything.
Yes, and as you could tell, Dr. Fuller is like some crazed emperor.
He wouldn't be happy if he knew we were snooping around.
I know the risks. I don't fear him. Do you wish to know anything else?
I found a file bearing Sarah Hawkins' name in the Institute's basement.
It makes sense. A powerful family like the Hawkins had the means to hide such a disgrace.
But everyone knows the Fullers have been taking care of the Hawkins for at least a generation. And all were aware of Mrs. Hawkins' fragility.
Perhaps, but no one would allow a psychiatric internment.
From what I read in the file, Fuller used her as a subject of his experiments.
Francis Sanders and Sarah Hawkins, subjects of Dr. Fuller. Why those two?
Dr. Fuller seems to be leaving a trail of corpses. Not to mention those strange machines, chains, and tools of all kind.
Yes, I've been telling you that Fuller uses his patients as guinea pigs.
What I saw was more akin to torture than medicine.
Do you even hear what you're saying? Dr. Fuller is highly respected.
It's the truth, Ethan, and I'll prove it to you. I'm listening, Mr. Pierce.
I have flashbacks. They haunt me.
What did they do to you?
There was that Dr. Fuller, and a nurse. Blood everywhere. My legs, the pain, I couldn't bear it. I was screaming. They injected me with something. I woke up at the Institute. Bradley was there.
And how you scared us. You seemed demented.
You likely woke up during the anesthesia. No wonder those memories haunt you. What in God's name were they doing to you?
What happened afterwards?
When I woke up the second time, I was in a padded cell. That's where you found me, Doctor. After you released me, I got a good look at what's in store for the patients of the Riverside Institute. Hallucinogenic gas pumped into the cells. An infernal machine, horrific medical experiments.
Impossible. Dr. Fuller would never do such a thing.
You should believe it, Ethan. What Mr. Pierce saw is precisely what I've been trying to prove. Did you discover anything else?
I met a Francis Sanders. Do you know him?
Of course, he's a patient. Or was. I haven't seen him since Dr. Fuller had him transferred to the basement.
He knew Sarah Hawkins, and that's what killed him.
What? How did he die?
I'm not sure I can explain it.
Tell me how Mr. Sanders died.
I didn't see what, but something was there with us.
Of what do you speak?
Sanders said it was Sarah Hawkins' visitor. He spoke of it like a living being.
Sarah Hawkins? Have I missed something here? This makes no sense. I don't see how it can help crack the Hawkins case.
You really think she's involved? How could she have murdered Mr. Sanders?
Francis Sanders mentioned Mrs. Hawkins just before dying. It's no coincidence.
You know, Francis Sanders was a well-known art collector. I guess you can still pay a visit to his wife, Irene Sanders.
An art collector, you say? That's probably how they met.
If you plan on having dinner at the Sanders household, please spare the widow the tale of her late husband's suffering.
I don't agree. She deserves the truth.
But that truth may be biased. We don't know the bottom of it.
You're right. Without a plausible explanation for what I saw, let's not jump to conclusions.
That seems wise indeed.
Very well. I'll go to see Francis's widow. Perhaps I'll find a link between her husband's death and Sarah Hawkins.
Don't end up in the hospital this time.
I'll do my best.
This will affect your destiny.
What? What does that even mean?
I don't know. What does this mean? Oh man. Did I get no more CP? Okay, how much do I need? I need 5 to max out spot hidden. And then I'll think I'll pump the rest into investigation, because these two seem to be super useful. Medicine is almost leveled up again.
Let us go now and learn the truth about what's happening on this island.
The other night's events are still confused in my head.
Bro, you are not the only one. Alright, we're gonna leave and head to the Sanders' residence. Oh man. Hey Kane, can you do me a favor? Can you tell me... Don't give me any information other than the numerical number of chapters in the game. I just want to know, so if I get to like chapter 12 and that's the last chapter, that I should go ahead and power through and finish it, rather than, you know, stopping halfway through that chapter kind of thing. But I don't want to know the names of the chapters or anything. Thanks, man.
What can I do for you, sir?
Mrs. Sanders, I'm a private detective. We must talk about your husband and his ties to Sarah Hawkins. Can I come in?
You may. However, before we go any further, please know that my husband died yesterday.
Oh.
That is precisely what brings me here.
Ooh.
Well, well, look who's here. You know each other.
We met briefly. Time enough to iron out a few matters. The main thing is that we understood one another. The brave detective has a talent for sticking his nose into my business.
I bump into her every time I'm investigating someone's death.
It's a small island, Detective. My island. It's better that it's you bumping into me.
You're investigating Francis' death. Why? Who hired you?
I spoke to Francis before he died. His story suggests a link to a case I'm working on.
Well, since this business has got nothing to do with me, I'll be in your husband's office, Irene. We'll carry on later.
Very well, Miss Baker. This way, Mr. Pierce. And do make yourself comfortable. It would seem that you have much to tell me.
Oh man, these paintings are creepy.
May I inquire as to when you had the opportunity to talk to my husband?
Yesterday, I met him at the hospital. He spoke to me about Sarah Hawkins.
Oh, of course he spoke to you about her. That's all he talked about. Sarah Hawkins and her paintings. Please forgive my tone. The fact is that I have not been allowed to see him since he was interned. You, on the other hand, a perfect stranger, were able to see him and even talk with him the day he died. How was he? Were you present when he had this attack? What happened?
What happened to your husband is terrible, Mrs. Sanders. But from what I saw, it was inevitable. The man I met yesterday had lost his reason. He suffers no longer, if you would allow me such a platitude.
Of course. Thank you for your kind words. Nobody in that hospital would have deigned to speak them to me. However, it will require more than that to soothe my mind. I need to understand. How could this happen? In a reputed institute? And right before your eyes. Did you not do anything to help him?
So ask Fuller, he's the eminent doctor. But I would caution you, you'll find his treatments more terrifying than the illnesses he sets out to cure.
That churl no longer takes the trouble to receive me. He sends his secretary to tell me that I cannot see Francis. Me. His own widow. He must think that I am a terrible wife for having abandoned him in such a way. But I only wanted what was best for him.
I'm not here to condemn you, Mrs. Sanders.
Oh, I'm tired, Mr. Pierce. I would be grateful if you could tell me what you expect of me, and then leave.
How did you come to meet Sarah Hawkins?
We were the wealthiest and most influential families on Darkwater. Of course we would know each other. And when Charles returned from Europe with his sweet little artist, she and her sinister paintings were destined to catch my husband's eye. He bought many of her works over the last 5 years. They adorn his macabre gallery.
That's macabre.
I deduce that your husband already mentioned this dimensional shambler.
Well, you can imagine that's all he talked about. It's exhibited at the center of the gallery. No better place for the painting that endowed him with the privilege of such a shameful and miserable end to his life.
Hold on. The shambler is a painting by Sarah Hawkins.
Who else to paint such horrors? Take a look for yourself, if you feel so inclined.
It is my only lead at this stage. I suppose I have nothing to lose.
Then you have paid no heed. For my part, I refuse to set foot in that gallery again. But if you are so eager to see it, I would urge you to make the most of your visit, because I count on ridding myself of that thing as soon as I can.
Thank you, Mrs. Sanders. I won't be long. Did she really care for him after all?
Wow.
Wow.
Fuller's just like, no, you can't have his body. What a dick.
The day the Shambler came into the Sanders' lives.
He is Fuller shit.
Francis Sanders and Sarah Hawkins were close. Friends, even? A house of artists. Sanders' accession register. He wrote beside the Shambler, "Finally." What did Sarah Hawkins fear so much that she didn't want to sell the painting? He finally won. Was Sanders aware of his imminent doom? He didn't want Sanders to have the painting. She must have felt devastated. Was she jealous of Sarah Hawkins? The Shambler. I need to see it.
More medicine. Sweet. Did I level up yet? No, it looks like 2 more. Yeah. Yeah, I really hope I don't have to play music.
Like chopsticks.
I don't even know chopsticks. I was never good at eating Asian food.
That's dumb.
I'm pretty dumb.
Let's see what this cylinder has to say once it's inserted in a phonograph.
Irene, I made a mistake. I fear that it might be too late for me. Nobody should enter, except to burn everything. I never had the courage. Pay somebody to do it. He's inside my head. I see him behind my eyelids each time I shut my eyes. I can't take any more. I can't hold him back. Forgive me.
That accursed gallery. Those accursed paintings. That accursed Sarah.
Okay. What is that reflection? Maybe it's the candlelight? Well, that room's closed. I just want to see your underwear. Dissertation on anatomical question. That should be 38. Yep.
I could use one of those. Strange. For months, Sarah Hawkins refused to part with her painting, to finally give it away for nothing.
That is true. She really didn't want him to have it, and then she gave it to him for free.
Must be good.
Must be good.
An old diary.
Spend some time on Reverend Wickwood's community. His wife expresses her worries about the strange dreams that the Reverend's congregation are having since their arrival on the island. Some members of the community, her husband included, began to speak of their vision as a messenger sent by God. She is scared, and they will suffer the same fate as the lost tribe. I'm joining dinner because you don't want to miss anything? Hey! Awesome! Diary of the Pastor's Wife, Volume 3. Okay, let's force this open. Key to the Sanders Gallery. Would you read the book?
Yeah.
Yeah. Malleus Beastarium. It's a kind of encyclopedia of monstrous and unknown creatures. This will affect your just reading the book will affect my destiny.
Something else on the desk at the front.
Over here? Oh.
A strange Amerindian pendant.
Chick, why you so smart?
Helpful.
Man, we're well on our way to level 4. Yeah, I want to get the occultism as high as possible, man. It's gonna be sweet.
That's twice you've stepped on my toes, Detective. Try not to make a habit of it.
I've got a lot of bad habits.
Some can be more fatal than others. What have you come looking for in this gallery?
I'm not here to cause trouble, if that's what's worrying you.
Worry me? Don't overestimate yourself. If the last beating wasn't enough for you, I can always give it another go. But as long as you keep out of my way, you're free to carry on with your visit.
All's fair in love and war, I suppose?
I want to punch her in the face.
Not now, sweetheart. I'd like to read this without some snoop looking over my shoulder.
Alright. Open it the other way. so it doesn't get in my way if I need to leave. Interesting that there's a place to hide in here.
These artifacts date from pre-Columbian times.
Really? That's it? Mm-hmm. Alright, we're gonna look at that painting up there last. For obvious reasons. Wow, that's creepy. Ah, oil for my lamp. Nice.
Why was he so interested in old weapons?
What? Athamaze? I don't know what that is. Oh. Using them SAT words on me.
I'll keep you apprised.
The man transformed an entire wing of his manor into an art gallery.
Athames are ceremonial blades.
Oh, a ceremony. Okay. Yeah. I didn't know that was what it meant.
Yep.
I've just always called them ceremonial daggers. I didn't know there was an official term for it, but that's interesting. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Alright, I guess that's it.
What the hell was that?
So I can't go out the door.
What the hell was that?
Oh, this thing is hard to stay away from.
Just like drugs.
What? It's unfortunate because I don't know what I'm supposed to do.
What the hell was that? I can't even touch it. Damn. Maybe I can use this thing.
Alright, so I found a dagger. I gotta fix. Huh?
I'm gonna do it.
What the hell was that? Damn. Maybe I can use this dagger.
I don't know how to use the dagger. poop on it.
What the hell was that?
Maybe middle click, like.
Hmm.
Damn. Maybe I can use this dagger.
I'm thinking maybe I go stab the painting.
Oh, yeah. Dorian Gray vibe.
Damn it! This dagger didn't.
Yeah. That's alright. It's okay, it's hard to hear. The dagger didn't work, so it's probably a different dagger.
Yeah, I'm sure there's problems with that. Try a different one. Good luck.
What the hell was that?
Mm. Well, it wasn't that dagger.
Maybe I can use this dagger. Damn it! This dagger didn't work. Damn it! I have to use a specific dagger. What the hell was that?
Oh, hey, what's up? Problem is getting to these and looking in them. I'm trying to see if I can find one that looks like it's got, like, Cthulhu stuff with it. Because maybe that's it, but I guess I should have paid closer attention when I was examining the knives. Maybe, yeah.
What the hell was that?
I'll try it a couple more times, and if I can't get it, then I'll probably just ask which knife it is. I don't want to sit here for like 45 minutes trying every knife.
I have a picture of the answer when necessary.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe I can use this dagger.
I picked this one up once, but I never actually stabbed the painting with it.
At least you know you can get to the painting and stab it. It's just-
Yeah. Come on, monster. Come on, monster, leave. I'm panicking.
Damn it! This dagger didn't work.
That didn't work either.
Damn it! I have to use a specific dagger.
I knew at that point it wasn't going to work, so I just went and gave the guy a hug. I was all like, I'm not going to get away from him. Let's just end it.
What the hell was that? Yeah, maybe I can use this dagger.
Nope, that wasn't it.
Damn it!
Okay. Okay. Yeah. I'm like, I've tried all but maybe 2 or 3, and I'm starting to lose track of which ones I've tried. So, I'm like, just show me which one I need.
Turn just in case.
What the hell was that? This dagger looks different.
What's the matter with you? You sure you won't be needing that hand? You're losing it, Detective. At this rate, you're right. The bottle will get you before I do.
You didn't see anything.
I saw you within an inch of putting a dagger through your forearm. Did I miss something more interesting?
Sanders was right. This painting is cursed.
What are you talking about?
I was attacked by a creature. I pushed it back, I think.
I think so too.
You knew. You knew about the beast.
What are you talking about? Think yourself lucky that I saved your hand, even if it was to save my goods.
You mean me?
Don't flatter yourself, sweetheart. I'm talking about the contents of this gallery. And by the way, where do you think you're going with that dagger?
It saved my life. It's an extraordinary dagger.
You should talk to Algernon Drake. He's an antique dealer here on Darkwater. He'll tell you all about it. From what I saw in the ledgers, it was him who sold it to Sanders.
It's not your style to give me free information like that.
Take it as payment for being my canary. A simple trade-off. Now go see your antique seller. I still got things to settle with Irene.
Oh. You know what's funny is once I pulled that dagger out, I saw the symbol on it, and I remember looking at the dagger going, that's an interesting symbol.
But you couldn't have remembered during that moment.
I wouldn't have remembered which one it was, or where it was, or any of that, yeah. I was too panicked. Books!
Where's the bookseller?
I don't care, let me read all his books first.
Freud's The Interpretation of Dreams. It's the work that laid the foundations of psychoanalysis at the beginning of this century.
And why every psychiatrist and psychologist hates Freud.
Yep. 'Cause all of his stuff is crap.
Yep.
Hey, medicine, great!
The first thing we're taught when we talk about Freud is...
All of him is crap.
I mean, he was the basis, but his theories were very bad.
Yeah, all his theories are basically considered wrong.
Yeah. But I mean, in 1924, they would have still been using it.
An old diary.
Pastor declared himself to be the prophet. He renounced God and worship as a strange pagan entity with a monstrous appearance. His wife tried to reason with her husband, but in vain. He was convinced that he must listen to the voice in his head because it holds the truth. Yeah, Cappy studied psychology in school, and she's like, ugh, we fucking hate him.
Well, especially since his big thing was dream interpretation. So I had a lot of people being like, what does it mean when I have this dream? And I'm like, we don't believe in that.
Yeah,
Well, you're
dream
studying
interpretation is
psychology.
crap.
Yeah, it does. It's like horoscopes.
Yeah, it's horoscopes. Yeah, exactly. Darkwater history.
The Puritan colony.
Led by Reverend John Wickwood, settled on the island during the 17th century. They named the island Darkwater because of the dark shades of the sea. They believed it was because of the peculiar color of the rocks surrounding the island. They erected the first buildings, among which were the Hawkins Manor, the church, and the cemetery. The rare documents and handwritten notes they left spoke of nightmares and deviant behaviors. They disappeared at the beginning of the 18th century. Very interesting.